Live, it's the Black Monday preview show. You're like, Black Monday? It's July, it's the summer, it's the World Cup, right? Well, maybe, but wrong. Wrong. I wake up this morning and goes, what are we going to talk about? I couldn't even do a show yesterday. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Black Monday. We're going to talk about Korea and the unspeakable details about what's going on over there because they bought too many. They bought too many what? They bought too many semis. They bought too much KOSPI. They're over leveraged. U.S. investors are over leveraged. I have very simple graphs. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got to show you the tweet that started it all. Then, as if we're not having enough fun, there is a relationship between oil and everything that retail is long and has to sell Monday. Because guess what? Hedge funds are also long the same thing. And they're short oil. We'll do a geopolitical update. There's some pain in Hyperliquid. I have those charts. Don't worry. I have every single chart in the stock market with Alpha Intelligence. The link to subscribe is in the description down below. If you thought the last live stream was mind-boggling with Alpha Intelligence, oh my God. You better call your dad and your grandpa and be like, yo, guys, I know you're not in NASDAQ. You're in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but I suggest you recompute on the open on Monday. Either that or don't look and just hodl. Either way. And then for this, I don't know, the coup de grace, the cherry on top, we now have a sports stadium named after a crypto hedge fund. I'm like, I looked at this morning and I'm like, I have to get on television and tell you that I can't believe what I'm looking at and then show you what I'm looking at. And then I have to say to myself, this is not happening. My brain is going, this is not, especially this thing with the sports stadium. This is not happening. And then I have to explain to you that it is happening. Like you cannot make this up. You can't. You can't. This is like out of a Tom Clancy novel for markets. Absolutely mind-boggling. Now, it is Saturday. It is the weekend, but you cannot possibly miss what I'm about to tell you. Rarely do I say it that way. You cannot miss this. Because if they got war rooms set up at Korean brokerage firm, you better get your own war room set up. Whether you need it or you don't, you better think about it. Because this Black Monday thing, like normally I make fun of this. Like when Black Monday is trending on Twitter, it's not happening. Maybe not this time. Maybe these guys in Korea are really caught. It is scary. Because you know what? Let's have a brief moment to review 1987. I was in college. I thought after 1987, Black Monday, I called up my parents and said, do I have to pack up my stuff and come home because we can't pay for college anymore? It's like the middle of the semester. I'm like, is the world ending? Is it over? Like, are you still in the house? Is this like we're all standing around the TV on the world is literally ending. My parents like, no, it's okay. My father worked for Merrill Lynch at the time. It's okay. I mean, it wasn't okay, but I didn't have to like abandon ship or go outside and eat dirt and twigs. It wasn't that bad. Okay, but Zero Hedge is reporting this morning that this spike in volatility and these changes in equities and this speed of this liquidation, right, stairs up, elevator down, is pretty much unprecedented, particularly in semis and hardware. Because, oh, by the way, as if I haven't teased it effectively enough, you have the Chinese coming out with something called Kimi, which has been out. Toby likes it. It's better than Claude. So the Chinese, the communists, being smart communists, they wait for everything to roll over. And before they unleash their latest government-funded Skynet bot that's better than anything we have, after Google has a delay. Excuse me. I mean, can you make it up? You can't make this up. Now, combined with that, going back to 1987 when I was in school, that was also marked by issues with Japan, issues with the yen, and Greenspan trying to talk tough on inflation as a new Fed chairman. Does that sound familiar to you? We got problems with the yen. The yen won't stop falling. There's rumors of this huge intervention, which could roil capital markets. Oh, yeah. And the Fed chairman, I don't know. He hasn't really said anything, but everybody thinks he's sort of hawkish, sort of. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Stop it. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is happening. And we are going to go through this step by step, chart by chart. And we're going to give you the whole picture. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to give you the bottom line for crypto right up front. If Bitcoin breaks 62K, I think the great news is you may wind up tapping 58 if it's a mess. If it's a mess. Maybe it's not. But if it is, you have huge buy zones, huge amounts of buy orders that were executed at 58K. So if Bitcoin ever went back down there, oh, Christmas. Now, altcoins, consensus longs, Hyperliquid, the canary in the coal mine potentially about what could happen. Now, personally, on Hyperliquid, because I know we got people involved, everyone's already asking me, I have the charts, don't go anywhere. Volume on things like Hyperliquid could explode. Tokenized equities, leveraged, hedging. I mean, if they can't get liquidity in stonks, they may go to crypto. This is why BlackRock and all these other players want tokenization. They want another source of liquidity, either to dump on you or hedge. So Hyperliquid volume could explode if this gets totally out of hand on Monday, starting with Korea and the geopolitical situation. Because, I mean, oil may tap 90. We'll go over it. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. At the absolute beginning. By the way, this is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. Hit the like button and subscribe to our services. We'll get into it. All right. Just Dario. How do you say Black Monday in Korean? Just Dario is an Italian guy operating out of Hong Kong. I'm hearing horrible stories from Korea. So many people will have to put cash into their trading accounts ASAP on Monday. Also hearing some retail brokers and market makers are already setting up crisis rooms. So let's take a brief moment to review how margin works in stocks versus crypto. So leveraging crypto, you put $10,000 into account, you get 10x levered long a meme coin. The meme coin vaporizes, you're liquidated, your money is gone. It's like casino chips. You push your chips out, your chips are gone. Okay, in equities, okay, you can borrow you can borrow as, you can put down collateral, or they'll just lend you a certain amount of money. So we'll lend you, I don't know, half of the net worth in your account. And then you go buy semis, you get levered long, whatever you get, you buy some levered long ETF. So they lent you a certain amount of money, assuming your account value was stable. But if your account value disappears and they have to liquidate you at a massive loss with slippage, it's not casino chips. You may not only lose the money that they lent you, but your account can go negative. So you can lose the collateral and owe them money. So it's not casino chips. It's like your house. Like if you buy a house and you borrow money for your house, but you have to sell it at a 50% loss, you may owe somebody money on that because you can't pay the bank back. It's negative equity is what it's called. So this is what Dario's talking about, that people owe brokerage companies money, and if they don't have it, the brokerage companies can blow up. Or whoever has assets, whoever owes the brokerage company money may have to go into, I don't know, 401ks, crypto, other assets their cars, their house, whatever. 1 in 30 people in Korea just got liquidated. This is a national issue. Crisis rooms. Sounds very familiar. And I don't think people in America, people in markets are paying attention. But I don't think this is on anybody's radar. Nobody's. Now, meanwhile, back at the crypto ranch, odds of the crypto clarity bill passing just hit an all-time low. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You mean the orange man is charging $100,000 a month? Somebody correct me if that's wrong. 6 figures a month to get to join the orange man front run orange man hedge fund stock purchases. Okay, again, it's the oldest trick in the book. Nancy Pelosi was running a hedge fund, but now we're selling subscriptions while we're trying to pass the Clarity Act. They're already on his case about the meme coin. And then as we're trying to pass the Clarity Act and get past that little inconvenient detail, we're going with this Truth Social thing, which I have zero judgment about. I don't care. Congressmen do this all the time, whatever. Who cares? Truth Social has no revenue model outside of him. Fine. But the Clarity Act can't pass when you do this kind of stuff, can it? Okay. I think everybody knows the Clarity Act is kind of hosed, maybe. Maybe it is a late night comeback. But then after that, are you ready? Ready for this? Okay. So first, Mike from Galaxy rightly gets involved in the AI data center thing, but it never really gets priced into the stock. I mean, Mike was converted Bitcoin mining into AI data centers like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago and never really realized any value. But now I'm like, oh my God, Mike, now you're on the cover. Now, as the whole thing is now blowing up, now everyone's like, oh, look, Galaxy did AI. I'm like, oh my God, please stop it. And then, oh God, ready for this? You ready? Because I saw this on Instagram and almost vomited. Texas Tech, which is a large university in Texas, I will explain who they are, signs a naming rights deal with digital asset company Galaxy Digital. So Galaxy Digital just paid $75 million to have Texas Tech's football stadium named Galaxy Stadium. Why is this a problem? Because the major warning sign of the 2022 nuke was when you had the Miami basketball arena, I believe, named FTX Arena. There was Crypto.com Stadium. They were buying Super Bowl ads. I'm like, Mike, you're in crypto and you're naming a stadium knowing this is the guy with the Luna tattoo. He got a tattoo of a project that he made a massive amount of money on that wound up collapsing because the stablecoin, essentially the algorithm that held the stablecoin together and the collateral that held it together, collapsed. So there's Mike with his tattoo. And then I don't know, however many months later, it goes to zero. I'm like, Mike, this is a visionary. This guy made a crypto hedge fund like 2015. And then on top of that, just to sort of like enhance the joke, there are 2 major universities in Texas for sports, football in particular. There's the University of Texas Longhorns. The Longhorn sports logo is one of the most recognized logos on the planet. Literally. You go to China. I went to China. They recognized the Texas Longhorn logo. So, rightly or wrongly, it's the Longhorns. Then, little brother is a very culturally rich military-style institution called Texas A&M. Stands for Agricultural and Mechanical. They're actually so smart out there that Elon is building a chip factory relatively close to where they are. And their football program is unbelievable. Their students stand the entire game. Stand. And they do chants in unison. They're not cheerleaders. They have a yell leader. And they all do these cheers and chants in unison, like farmers fight. I know. But the stadium is monstrous. The crowd is the loudest crowd in history of sports. I don't care where you are. And then, okay, so A&M is considered the redheaded stepchild compared to the Longhorns. And then you have Texas Tech. Now, they are very good at sports. It's a big school in Texas. Obviously, it's a technical college. It's gigantic. It's in a place called Lubbock, which is a giant dirt hole. And if A&M is the redheaded stepchild compared to, I don't know, Texas Longhorns, I don't know. Texas Tech is like, I don't know, your little brother's friends that doesn't bathe and has boogers and, it's a joke. So Mike goes and sponsors Texas Tech with an FTX repeat in the middle of Black Monday. I'm like, Mike, this is not happening. Please stop it. It's not happening. We cannot do this. Cannot do this. First, it's Cash Cat on Robinhood, followed by the FTX Stadium deal in the middle of a monster liquidation in equities. Are you following this? Because I can't believe I'm following this. Is happening? Has there been a transporter malfunction and I've been beamed into an alternative universe? And meanwhile, back at the geopolitical ranch, just when you think there's no possible way that they can, that they would ever attack oil infrastructure, they're attacking oil infrastructure in Kuwait, along with salinization. I'm like, oh, they can't do this. They're going to blow up the whole Middle East. Well, guess what? They're doing it for now. It's going to be on Sunday night. And here's why this matters. So again, hedge funds, short oil, long semis. They got forced into semis, and that's what makes up the Korean index. The Korean index is semiconductor, hardware, AI intensive. So everybody buys this stuff at the top. Everybody. Hedge funds, retail, everybody. And then the next thing you know, it vaporizes. It vaporizes. On a night where oil might spike. I can't imagine anything more horrible. So if hedge funds are trying to sell, retail is trying to sell, and this is all happening in thin summer markets. Europe's not working. Europe's watching the World Cup. They're not working. Who's working? Americans are at the beach. Who are they going to sell to on Sunday night? I don't know. I just don't. So that's why this whole thing about, Black Monday has surfaced, because, you don't know if they're all going to have to sell on Monday. And if we just, and this is a good news, bad news type thing, right? Okay. So just for Alpha Intelligence, which again is becoming this is like a day trading tool, which has become like a macro whirlwind of information. Eagle King now has a QR code. The link is down below. It's in the description and in the links. This is mind-boggling. This is the order block suite and the alpha structure suite. Essentially, in 10 words or less, it's finding the institutional large block orders. That's what it's doing. It does a lot more than that, but that's what it's doing right now. Now, the good news is you have KOSPI headed for a giant support block from when all the hedge funds FOMO'd in when they realized, oh my God, this was going to make a new high. And of course, this is a 5-wave, which is the end. This is an emotional climax. I mean, if anybody wants to know what a 5-wave looks like, that's what it looks like. Straight up. Straight up. So this is where they all FOMO'd in, the hedge funds. Now, you're going to go tap this tomorrow, undoubtedly, right? Undoubtedly, you're going to tap this because markets don't bottom on a Friday or a Monday. So, but believe it or not, the middle of this zone is 10% down in KOSPI. You got to fall 10% before you start tapping the hedge fund orders. And if you tap this and break this, okay, yeah, I mean, there are support levels below it, but let me ask you this. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is your grandpa's stock portfolio. Okay. Like, where are the big order blocks in this? The big ones are 3%. There's a small one, and then the big ones are 3 to 5% lower. That's a big move in the Dow. And, you know, if you look at S&P, there's nobody home. Like, where's the next big block in S&P? This is the cash index. It's 3% down. That's a big Sunday night move. And then where's the next one below that? Oh, wait, the middle of it? Oh yeah, it's another 5% down. Again, here was the FOMO as they knew it was all taken off. So, I mean, just to sort of warm up the alpha intelligence thing, you're talking about 3 to 8% in S&P. Oh, does S&P have another problem? Yes, S&P has always had this problem, which is that the business model of any American company, of any company, period, can be disrupted overnight with the push of a button thanks to AI. Are they going to build chips? Sure. Chips are backed by earnings for now, or so it's calculated. The market may know something different. Who knows? I don't know. NASDAQ, they will monetize AI a lot faster than they'll monetize the internet. We talked about this. However, in the rest of the market, you could have somebody's business model be like, woof, reinvented. Oh, look, we're going to have robots build a different version of John Deere tractors. Woof. Oh, look, cloud is unstoppable in coding and has to be reviewed by Uncle Sugar before it comes out. Oh, Kimmy? Oh, yeah, it's better than cloud. Whoosh, overnight. This is not factored into S&P. This is not factored into the Dow. This isn't factored into anywhere at all. Even though everyone's like, oh, AI is the future. Yeah, bro, it is the future. And it can do great things, and it can do revolutionary things and shocking things and change things. This is not factored in at all. There's no risk in S&P. Everyone wants to hate on NASDAQ and semis. Okay, yeah, fine. We're going to go over all that. And everybody in Korea is going to get liquidated. I mean, if 1 in 30 people got liquidated, what is going to happen if it goes down another 20%? I don't know. You basically, you could have a crisis in the Korean financial systems. What do you think the crisis rooms are? What are they doing in there? Eating donuts, going, wow, look at our P&L. No, they're probably on the phone with central banks going, guys, our company equity just vaporized. I don't know. You can't say this. You can't say it is not happening. This is not S&P driven. This is being driven by insane FOMO. I know. And you're like, what does this have to do with crypto? Well, not much. Not much. But I mean, crypto can no doubt get caught in this. So let's go over semis and then let's connect it to crypto. So this is SOX. It's so old. Oh my God. It's when options were so obscure that the exchange was in Philadelphia. You're like, what's Philadelphia? It's a state adjacent to New Jersey, which is the state adjacent to New York. So they had to put the options exchange in Philadelphia. This is what, we all grew up watching for semiconductors. Like, this is before ETFs. You watch these, what are called option indexes. Okay. So SOX now a big deal from Philadelphia. So there's an order block in SOX, 6% where it closed. Note, you have this alpha intelligence buy signal that is not working. That is not working. Like, look what happened over here with this alpha intelligence sell signal that did not work. I talked about this with the guy, and as with the mark and everything else, right, for TikTok, that's over here. So as with the mark, as with anything else, if you have a signal and it breaks, the move is bigger than you can get from a signal. So here's a buy signal, a bear signal that didn't work. And when it takes it out, SOX does the 5-wave up. Just so you know. So the next order block is where they FOMO'd in. That's 6% below the current level. Then if that does not hold on Sunday night, which, KOSPI goes down limit, or they have to shut it down, and then U.S. market opens and hedge funds have to sell, the next order block in SOX, are you ready for this, is down 20%. How important is Sunday night? So let's go over this in English. If you have a meh down move, if KOSPI's down like 4%, it's meh, whatever. Okay, fine. Not Black Monday. However, if you have something stupid go on in KOSPI, if you have something stupid go on in oil, and then that U.S. market opens and hedge funds have to start liquidating and margin babies in the U.S. have to start liquidating, some of these stocks are going down 20%. And they could be a screaming buy down 20%, or you could just have an unwind of that 5 wave, just unwind the FOMO and start over. This has happened in the history of markets. Like, for example, there's no reason that it's completely logical without thinking apocalyptically that after going up the way it went up, that semis might consolidate like this. And you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up. It might make a standard triangle. There's nothing abnormal about this. Oh, except for the fact that they may liquidate an entire country. That could be a slight problem if it goes down 20%. So this is not abnormal from a technical analysis point of view that you might wash out a 5 wave. It's just that, wait a minute, you already have unprecedented, Zero Hedge is reporting like unprecedented volatility. And then we're going to go over the volatility of the volatility. Like, hang on a second. Like, let's get VXX. So I may not have this correct, but VXX is the volatility of VIX. VIX is the fear index in equities. Okay. So the fear index in equities, or at least the iPath S&P 500 VIX short-term futures. Okay. So it's a futures contract on VIX itself. This thing, if it breaks 23, which looks flimsy to me, the next stop is 28. The next stop above that is 34, where there's an unfilled gap. I mean, you could have this is set up. You have enough room for mass panic over there. And they did this to themselves, by the way. This is like they made this bed. I mean, you got a diamond here. I don't know how you want to draw it, but you got a diamond here in NASDAQ, and it's a clear breakdown, clear as a bell. Holy cow. I mean, the downside target of this monster is all the way down here. And these order blocks, they're there, but it's not like huge. It's not huge. It's not. I mean, it's there. But, the target is 6 to 7% below where we are right now. And that makes for a really ugly Monday open. Now, okay, I think I've made the point with the charts. Let's go to PowerPoint and review this. So, Black Monday, that actually looks like a photo from Black Monday itself. Okay, so the market is testing leverage. Something like 38 trillion Korean won borrowed. U.S. margin debt. Okay, wait. So Korea's margin math, credit margin loans used to buy stocks. Okay. Ultra short brokerage receivables and unpaid balances. So brokerage firms may have to sell to cover losses. For sale when collateral cash is not posted, meaning the banks, I didn't even think of this. The banks and the brokerage firms may have to start selling their assets in order to make up for losses if retail investors don't pay them. Okay. Black Monday risk is not people got bearish. It's accounts must sell because the math says so. So Korean margin debt was completely vertical before it cracked. Forced selling jumped from nuisance to threat, a 10x reported forced sale ratio. This is how a correction became a gap down Monday. U.S. margin debt is at a record. Ruh-roh. Like I said, do you know how inflation occurs? Because people with, I call it NVIDIA money. NVIDIA money, right? They just borrow money against their tech stocks. Okay. You know, they were making leveraged stock ETFs for single stocks. I mean, they were borrowing money to buy leveraged products. So it's margin, ETF, options creates a liquidity problem. Here is the chain reaction laid out in case it's foggy. Korean Open, KOSPI, Samsung, fresh forced selling. Margin stress, headlines, margin calls, unpaid balances. Liquidation engine is on or off. U.S. semis, Micron, NVIDIA. Can't remember what. Broadcom. Contagion to U.S. assets. Oil. U.S. yields, oil up. Macro pressure on the relief valve. Volatility, market maker and hedge fund demand. In other words, if you're a Korean bank or you're a U.S. bank and you don't know what's going to happen or you don't know how much money you're going to lose, you're going to go into the options market and try to hedge. You're going to be like, okay, what can we buy that protects us in case this all falls out of bed? This is how it would cascade lower if it did cascade lower. Now, of course, Bitcoin can get caught in this naturally. How much Bitcoin could get liquidated on this? An orderly shock would be about 1 billion. A disorderly shock would be 1.5 to 3 billion. And if it's a nightmare, it's 4 to 6 billion in Bitcoin. So for every 1% of open interest forcibly liquidated, that's about $500 million in Bitcoin. Now, I would like to think that because people are not ridiculously leveraged long Bitcoin, that there would be a bid for crypto on a vortex lower in semis. And who knows, there could be a bid for semis on a vortex lower in semis after they get done liquidating everybody. Because the dream would be they smash it in Asia time and then they bring it back and there's no Black Monday. But this thing where there's oil, hedge funds are short oil, long semis. So if they lose on both ends, they're going to have to liquidate. We know the Koreans are going to have to liquidate. I wouldn't be shocked if the Korean central bank just says, you know what, we're closed. Close the market. We're done. Close the market for 5 days. Everyone will calm down and we'll come back in. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, right? Because of the cascade that can happen, particularly with U.S. margin debt. And get this, it gets better. You know all this money that all these companies have borrowed for AI? This is LQD. It's an ETF of corporate bonds. But just where's the institutional buy orders down here? There aren't any. There isn't any. So this hyperscaler debt, and this goes back to my case for crypto. It's like, wait a minute, people, you have bought all the wrong stuff. There's nobody home on the downside in the Dow. There's nobody home on the downside in S&P. There's nobody home on the downside in corporate bonds, but crypto is diseased and we don't want to touch it. Now, just in case you're wondering, Hyperliquid on a 4-hour chart is okay. I know everyone's losing their mind about this because this was like a top performer, and this is a canary in the coal mine. Because, this was telling you that there was a problem. The top performing stuff was going to get sold. This is what happened. Hyperliquid crashed. This could be the Black Monday warning. Now, again, you've got this alpha intelligence reversal signal at a huge order block, which is also the Lux Algo discount zone, which is known as confluence, right? So I don't know that I'm all that upset about what's going on in Hyperliquid because you have huge order blocks underneath the market after it's already gotten totally smashed. Let me see if I can have the daily chart. Okay, there's an order block underneath Hyperliquid on the daily chart. So is it terrible? Not really. And as a matter of fact, I would be shocked if Hyperliquid, in the event of some kind of mega move, wasn't a key liquidity pillar when liquidity in legacy vaporizes, because there will not be any liquidity. It's the summer. Like I said, Europe is out. Europe is done. Europe is going to be massively hungover from the World Cup. And in case we're not having enough fun, listen to this. World Cup, Spain, 1982. Mexico was unable to service $80 billion of debt, sparking a Latin American debt crisis. France, 1998. The final was in July. Russia defaulted in August. 36 days later, followed by a hedge fund being liquidated, long-term capital management known as LTCM. It was so bad that Greenspan had to cut rates 3 times to stop it, to stop the fear. Korea, Japan, World Cup 2002. WorldCom discloses $3.8 billion of improper accounting. Whoops. That was in June. 5 days before the final, filed for bankruptcy 3 years later, three weeks later, massively accelerated the technology bear market. That was also in conjunction with Enron. So, little fake accounting problem. Whoops. South Africa, 2010 World Cup, May 6th flash crash in equities. Dow fell 600 points in 5 minutes before partially recovering. I know a guy on that flash crash. He has what's called stink bids underneath the market, just like totally ridiculous bids. He went to sleep in London, woke up. All of his stink bids were filled, and the market had already come back up. He said it was like Christmas morning. He bought the market when he was sleeping at absurdly low levels, and it went all the way back up again. It's one of the greatest market stories I've ever heard. Brazil, 2014, Banco Espírito Santo has a crisis. And of course, Qatar, 2022, who could forget that that's the FTX year? World Cup 2026 in the United States. Final is this Sunday. England versus France. The master and commander rivalry kicks off in a couple of hours. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are we doing? I mean, this is like, I woke up with like nothing to talk about. And then all of a sudden, this is like a clinic as to how to blow up the world. Somebody mentioned IBM. Yeah. Somebody mentioned IBM. Elon says coding will be dead by year end. You will not need it. AI can create a much more efficient binary that can be done by any compiler. Guys, just a reminder, AI can disrupt everything. That includes finance and money. That includes finance and money, which is why crypto is wonderful. This is the good news, right? All this disruption and legacy that has not only been not priced in, but also ignored and replaced by insane FOMO. It's like a triple layer cake. Crypto is designed to benefit from all this. So if they waste all this, it's crypto Christmas. I mean, unless it gets like, unless it just turns into, I don't know what. And the thing is, here's what's really funny. If it does turn into, I don't know what, somebody's going to have to cut rates or stick high-powered money in the system. The plunge protection team may not be enough if they liquidate all of Asia. I'm just saying. Because the hallmark of 87 was Greenspan flipping from hawk to permadove. Permadove. After 87, Greenspan, the next thing Greenspan said was 10 years later when he said the stock market in 1997 was experiencing irrational exuberance. This was the famous speech. And of course, the stock market went straight up in his face forever because rates were low and it was fine. And then they had to tighten to stop it in 2000. Greenspan did nothing but cut rates for 10 years, 20 years. Insane. Literally insane. If something stupid happens on Sunday night, and if you've watched this far, if something stupid happens on Sunday night and that stupid carries over for more than 1 day, Warsh is going to have to come in and cut rates or open the discount window or do something, because you cannot have moves like this, right? Yeah, 1 day, 6%. No one cares about 1 day or 1 week, right? But if you start having, like, if this gets out of hand, this is the type of thing that can blow up banks, brokerage firms, institutions. And there may not be any way to stop it. I mean, if people are getting liquidated, they're getting liquidated. In crypto, we understand this, right? This is FTX. If you're getting liquidated, they're selling. That's it. It's not a chart decision. It's not an economic decision. Like, that's it. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. If there's no bid for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, how is there going to be a bid for all this froth? Because you got to remember, Apple, I think, is in the Dow, and Apple just made a gigantic new all-time high. On what? On what? A boring iPhone? A Siri that doesn't work, and Apple makes a gigantic new all-time high? Where is it? Like, what is this about? Can someone tell me? What is this? This is crazy banana pants. Look at this. You got a sell signal up here, and it just is like, we don't care. I don't know. You know what it feels like? It feels like they're all trying to be long tech without being long tech, and they're buying Apple. This looks like some kind of fear trade. This in 2000, it was called new economy. That was the internet. And old economy, that was S&P, everything else. So if you're on the internet, you were the new economy. And then when new economy blew up, they all bought old economy. It looks like old economy to me. This is everybody going, oh my God, we got to move from semis to Apple so we don't get caught in this. By the way, we do cover Bitcoin on this crypto stream, in case you're wondering. So it's a 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, and you have this monster order block at 58. We could only be so lucky to take it down there. Only be so lucky. Right? Because that's where all the big boys got involved. And if you have a failure in legacy liquidity mechanisms, let me say this again. If you have a failure in legacy liquidity mechanisms, you will have a case for Stellar, Solana, Ethereum, Hyperliquid, Uniswap, Aave. Immediately, an immediate catalyst if you have a legacy failure in liquidity. And I think that even goes for Arrow and XRP. Now, is that going to happen right away? No. You have to have the failure. And then, of course, that is going to create major consternation first. No, I got it. However, if this fantasy and legacy is shattered, which I think Kimmy alone should be enough, never mind all this other stuff. Galaxy Stadium, oil. What? How am I supposed to have a good weekend? I have my pineapple shirt on. Like, what the? I'm seriously not making this up. I am not making this up. I'm not. It feels like I am. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. I'm absolutely not. It's beyond what I can even understand. It is. It's beyond what I can understand. Like, look at this. Okay, so this is NASDAQ composite cash. So this is NASDAQ. NASDAQ is in the whole thing. I know we look at the futures contract. This is the cash index. Where's the bid? Where's the order block? Okay, you got an order block down 2%. Okay. Where's the next order block? I don't know, 8% down? I mean, I don't know how you'd ever get to this gap given these order blocks, but I don't think there's anybody home. There's nobody home if they roll this over. And honestly, there's like two ideas here. Crypto is okay because it is okay and there's no problem. Or me and Just Dario are having some kind of flashback because we ate some bad Chinese food on Friday night or whatever. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, am I looking at this? Am I looking at like the flush in crypto? That's the dawn of crypto, the end of, this insanity in legacy because you have oil, Kimi, KOSPI, Galaxy Stadium. Did I get it all? Yeah. At the same time, on the same weekend, in 3 days. And now everyone's got 24 hours to think about this. Like right now, the market's probably not thinking about this because the World Cup's tomorrow. No one cares. And then all of a sudden, when everyone's watching, this is like, remember this thing about big moves on a holiday? Oh my God. Eagle King just explained to me. The United States American football Super Bowl gets 150 million views on television. The World Cup final will get 1.5 billion. So 1/8 of the planet is going to be watching soccer. And then you're going to have the real World Cup final, which is going to be Korea and semis and NASDAQ or whatever. Shut the market down and cut rates. That's what's going to have to happen if it gets insane. I'm just saying. I know. You if you're still watching, you're like, well, what is wrong with this guy? I'm telling you, nobody is covering this. It's trending on Twitter. I don't think anybody understands the nuts and bolts of it. Just Dario does, but I don't think anyone else does. Okay. Bull Runner is here. Hello, Eagle King. What's up? Let's go, Spartans. Oh my God. When I hit Patreon with the day trading on this alpha intelligence thing, I'm like, I did it on a macro basis last stream. I'm like, this can't get any better than this. Can't get any better than last stream. And then I started pulling it up on like the daily charts for Black Monday. I'm like, oh my God. There's nobody home. Nobody home. Zepedas, hooked you up. Hyperliquid. It's going to be okay. Yav is here. What's going on? Am I doing a Sunday night update? I would love to. Hopefully there's something to update about. I would love to. I did. If it's Black Monday, if it's Black Sunday, if it's Black Sunday in the US and Black Monday in Asia, we will be on the air in the middle of the night or otherwise. Trust me. Trust me. Gary the Holder, the Fuzz Crypto, Thomas Chai, what's up? Noah, hello, welcome. John 316. Crow is a good play. Could have a 5x this run. Dude, this could be shopping. This could be it. Like if Legacy has its moment, right? Pickle Buzz sent 250 joules. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thoughts on AVAX? If AVAX can make a comeback? Yes, because Avalanche has a C chain for security tokens, which everyone has forgotten about. Again, everything in crypto doesn't exist. Crypto is wearing a cloaking device. Crypto needs to decloak or needs to be decloaked. Like, oh, look, there's no liquidity in legacy. Oh, look, let's do security tokens so we can get liquidity like on Hyperliquid. It's as simple as that, right? Hoshi Hasha says private credit is also a problem. Yeah, don't forget that. Don't forget that this can create contagion. Like whatever problems there are, I don't know, private credit, dollar yen, blah, 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 blah. You know, there's so many problems. I just listed a whole bunch of problems. There are more. If it starts a chain reaction, forget about it. It's going to be so bad, Warsh will have to come in. That's it. It could be that bad. I hope not, but Galaxy Stadium, wait until Musk's humanoid robots take the field against real humans, says Music Miracles. So this article, the Japanese are buying billions of dollars in NVIDIA chips for robots. Of course, the Japanese are doing robots. Japanese have been doing robots, period. And Japanese have been doing robots in cartoons since the 70s. Of course, they're going to do robots. They're all worried there's not going to be enough people in Japan. That's okay. You should have more room for more robots. I heard IBM took a 25% dumper. Yeah, sure. It sure did. I mean, you realize that this used to be the marquee stock in the United States. The marquee stock. Like the world revolved around IBM. International Business Machines. Who, believe it or not, my old boss used to work for and got famous for using Watson, their supercomputer, the AI in there to pick his to pick his March Madness bracket. Again, IBM down a lot. Okay, let's not pile on. No need to pile on. But 32% downside between this order block on the daily chart and the next one. Just saying. If everyone loses their mind. Hopefully they don't, but like a break of support here has like 10% minimum in equities. A lot of gamblers these days, according to John Legend from the, an action figure from the Crypto Princess universe. A1 Rising says fear, negativity, doom, and gloom is what sells right now. So it's all self-fulfilling prophecies. True, sort of. However, their doom and their gloom is our bloom. Wow, that's catchy. I like that. Their doom and their gloom is our bloom. A different form of money, scarcity. With Kimmy, what's scarce? Chinese government-funded models, smoking, multi-trillion-dollar companies in debt in the United States, like that. What's going to happen when Kimmy gets on the blockchain? You don't think these things are going to go on the blockchain? It's as you think, right? They're not going to participate in finance. They're just going to be like little coding tools. You got to be kidding me. We do a video on top AI coins that you must look at now. 100 views. No one's paying attention, dude. No one. And these moves in crypto, like whatever you see could happen on the downside. Like we can't get anybody's attention with this. Just take the whole equities hootenanny and just flip it. Like if their stuff can vaporize, our stuff can go parabolic and not stop. Like if machines come in and start buying stuff, they don't have to stop. Machines will be like, oh yeah, let's do this. Oh, look, all the humans are piling in. Okay. Let's learn from watching all the humans pile in. Okay, we'll dump on them after 1,000Xs. But it might 1,000X. Something might 1,000X. You might have 1,000X a day if machines all pile in at once. If we're going to be ridiculous, let's go all the way and be ridiculous. Like disaster coin in legacy gives birth to crypto. Something has to wake up crypto. I got a call from a guy. Who's kind of like I don't know what you want to call this. He's like I don't know. He works with influencers. Let's put it that way. I mean, I'm humbled that he even talks to me, to be honest. He's like, yeah, stuff's coming in. His phone's ringing. People know that the bottom in crypto is coming. His phone is ringing for crypto things to be sent to large influencer accounts for, I don't know, marketing, assistance, whatever. You're like, what crypto things? I thought the whole thing was dead. Not according to this guy. Not according to this guy. Think about this, right? Oh, it's dead. It's done. Bitcoin's going to 40. Wow. You mean there's somebody willing to pay gigantic YouTube accounts money to discuss whatever it is? And there's enough of that to where, like literally, like not being sarcastic, but like, the feast could be so big that, some crumbs could fall on the table for the little guy. That's how big it is. And we're out of business, right? Yeah. Okay. A1 Rising, stop loss hunt. Wing Raven, winner, chicken dinner. Music Miracles is here. Welcome to the show. Wow, we have a lot of comments going on here. KDAM, bullish on XRP, ETH, Bitcoin, and Stellar. Yeah. Is Crow going to team up for the Galaxy Texas Stadium launch? Oh my God, please. Texas Tech of all places. It was probably very affordable. And Texas Tech is dominating the league that it's in because Texas A&M and Oklahoma left to go to a bigger league. I get it. But Mike, it's in Lubbock, for God's sakes. I mean, like tumbleweeds. Do you know what a tumbleweed is? No, maybe the Eagle King will a picture of a tumbleweed. That's what you have. You have two things in Lubbock. You have three things in Lubbock: dirt, tumbleweeds, and Texas Tech. And maybe you could throw in a dust storm. In Lubbock, it's like 105 in the summer and 20 in the winter. People in Lubbock aren't even going to know what Galaxy Digital is. Mike, oh my God, you're such a genius and you do these things. I can't believe it. I can't. Please tell me that this is not going to happen. Please tell me crypto is not going to go down with KOSPI and all this other stuff after Mike does this thing with the stadium. Please tell me it's not going to happen. Please say, Bill, you're wrong. God, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about this. Please don't let this happen again to Mike with the tattoo. Don't. Bonk will have its day again. Bullish on PEAQ, machine economy. Been following you for years. Should have bought more Zcash. Bless you, sir. Odd Dark sends jewels. Thank you. Be sure to check out Alpha Intelligence. Dude, let me just tell you this. I know we're at the end of the show. This guy from Alpha Intelligence is this fast-talking dude. Like, so enthusiastic, you think he's caffeinated, but he's not. This guy was like, I cannot spend my whole life drawing lines. I want to trade. He's got a cigar. He's got like an outdoor trading room with like a big sofa. It's very stylish. It just doesn't look like Miami Beach to me, but it's cool. And he's standing there at this like standing desk with his cigar, explaining this stuff to me. And I had to slow him down a couple times. I'm like, bro, slow down. It's so dense, but basically he knows where the orders are. There's like 5 different ways to check it: daily, weekly, 15-minute. The computer is just looking for everything. I mean, do you know where the yearly open in Bitcoin is? Do you track these things? The weekly open? Who has time to go through this stuff? His thing just goes through it. And then you take trades when you get interesting candlesticks at these particular levels. That's all. There's not a trade every day. He looks at like 3 or 4 instruments. You know how many people are in his company? This is what I'm talking about, AI. I'm not going to tell you how many people are in the company. But needless to say, it's a guy who could figure out how to code, gets it something on TradingView. And then the next thing you know, this guy could disrupt. He could disrupt everything. Because I'm telling you right now, like it's going to help me trade. It's already helped with two back-to-back, two massive macro streams based on this guy's work. Where is the limit to what I can do with this stuff? There isn't any. There isn't any. Because he just knows where the orders are. I mean, isn't that the game in crypto? Isn't that why we're always getting hosed? Because the institutions are either like hovering it up at a level we can't see, or to use his terms, or they let it go. Like if these levels in KOSPI or these levels in semis or whatever, if they just let it go, there's a reason why they let it go. Meaning go through a big level. This is a tumbleweed, by the way. For God's sakes. Mike with a stadium. Oh my God. I mean, of all the things I thought would never, ever, ever happen again in our lifetime would be crypto companies with stadiums. Please tell me this is not going to be a problem. Please, please let this not be a jinx. I hope Mike is a genius. I hope Texas Tech. I hope they win the Big 12. I hope they go to the playoffs. I hope Mike is flipping the coin. Is that the coin toss at the national championship game? I really hope so. I love Mike. I love Galaxy, but oh my God, not on KOSPI disaster week. Please, please. No, no. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the market update for this weekend. Enjoy the World Cup. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the fireworks on Sunday night. We will be on if it's a problem. Hopefully it's not, but remember this. It's crypto Christmas as it is, because yes, it's their problem. It affects us. They sell, our assets get sold, but at the end of the day, Kimmy is coming to crypto. We'll see you soon.